Hello, and a big welcome to our newest ClearCast episode. Today, we have a fantastic guest with us. We have Karmendra Kohli, the founder CEO of SecurEyes, with us. Uh, he has been into cybersecurity for more than 2 decades and brings a lot of wealth of experience in cybersecurity. And how was this cybersecurity useful for organizations back then, and what is going to happen in the future with a lot of AI threat vectors coming in. So we'll chat more with Karmendra. We'll know about his journey and his experiences. So welcome, Karmendra, to our ClearCast episode.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Let us start with the first question we always ask, that share more information about us. What about your background, about Secure Eyes, and
Right, sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. So like you mentioned, I started my cybersecurity journey when it was called internet security. Okay, this is back in 2001, early 2001. And, then internet security as a subject or a domain was more of a afterthought for most organizations and individuals.
Mm,
And it was more of a curiosity based area of work
okay.
rather than serious,
Mm,
career based area of work. Because hardly anybody knew cyber internet security or security. People were just about getting into Java, .NET, the Windows 2000.
right,
So
right.
people were just getting into that. And I was fortunate enough to have this opportunity to get into internet security. And so it's been a wonderful journey, still continuing. I've been fortunate enough to start off with like the bare bones of security, which is start as a developer, as a coder.
Okay.
So back in the days, I've written some of the security tools, which were exciting tools because they, of course, helped in getting some visibility. For example, I created what we used to call a password sniffer for my organization, and using that, I could demonstrate that how easy it was to capture passwords from the network.
Right.
As you would know, back in those days, socket programming
Right. Absolutely.
was the in thing, and
Yeah.
that's what we could use to access the network. So I got into that. I wrote sniffer, I wrote a port scanner, anti sniffer, and quite a few other tools. So started from that, then again moved into consulting. So
Okay.
having a strong base in that helped me build not only technologically but also to understand where each aspect of internet security fitted in.
Right. Right.
So from the consulting, then I've moved into again the entire stack, starting as a network security consultant, system security,
Okay.
then got into application security when it had just about started back in
Right.
2004. OWASP had just about started, and I got into that, and then code reviews. So from there into governance, risk, compliance, which
Okay.
is the process aspect or the management aspect of cybersecurity.
Right. So you've expanded kind of in all the dimensions. I think you worked initially at CMC and I think some other company as well, right?
So I started my career with CMC Limited, which no
Okay.
longer exists as a company, but it was a very large corporation in India, semi-government or government of India undertaking, which was later on taken over by TCS. That is where I got into the internet security. And so there was a wing called the Center for Internet Security,
Okay.
which is
So
where I
you were,
started my
yeah.
work. After having been there for about close to 2 years, I moved into another organization called Palladian Networks.
Okay.
That is a Mumbai-based, very early days information security company. There were only a handful of companies then in India, and Palladian Networks was one of them. I was fortunate to be one of the first few employees at Palladian.
Okay.
And that kickstarted my journey because it was a startup. So the learning opportunity were immense,
Yeah.
and we had a lot of flexibility as technical consultants to go in and research, do our own research, and then we worked with some of the largest banks in India and
Okay.
outside during the Palladian stint, and of course later on as well. So that set a good foundation. So both
Right.
these organizations have been
Very instrumental.
very instrumental in
Fantastic.
my career.
I mean, an interesting question. What was that first spark that got you excited about this field? Because I think when you're out from college, you have various things which you can work on. And cybersecurity, as you said, internet security was not the in thing. There were many other things which you possibly have selected. So how did you choose this, or you just accidentally stepped onto it?
Yeah, so interesting anecdote that when I was in my college, so I and the Yahoo and Hotmail were just about coming in 98, 99, that time, right? So one of our curious friends captured, or I don't know, hacked into, using the forgot password, or, put a sniffer. Somehow he got the passwords of a bunch of us.
Okay.
And that is what triggered my curiosity, that if somebody can get, how do we prevent those people from getting into our systems, our application,
Right.
our email? Then email was the
Yeah.
biggest tool we had. So that's what kicked off my curiosity, and that's where I started thinking that maybe this is something I need to explore. And then, of course, when we look at the past, this opportunity just came in. I think I was one of the 2 or 3 people who got selected out of a few hundreds in
Okay.
CMC,
Okay.
and that was for the final year project. And usually, those days, CMC used to take people as project trainees and then convert them into that was their mode.
Yes.
So it was a assessment. So I got in, and then I was fortunate again, interestingly placed in the Center for Internet Security.
Okay. I think
So I didn't have a
it's
choice.
just you were destined to become
Yes.
a cybersecurity leader.
Yes.
I think you founded this in 2005, right?
That's right. We incorporated in 2006.
2006.
Yes.
Very fun. So, what was your vision? I mean, which problem you started off by solving? I think it was it application security wasn't there that time, or I think
Just started.
Just at start.
Yeah.
So, was that the problem you thought, okay, I'll solve this problem, or you had a bigger vision at that time that this is what I want to become?
Yes. So see, the after having worked in this field, and by the way, I and my co-founder, we had named our company in college. So SecurEyes was already named in college. So we had that, I would call it foresight, that we sometime need to start a company.
Got it.
And that's where, that bug was there. And we, after completing 5 years of work, we said it's now. Now is the time. During these 5 years of my job, I realized that people were unaware about cybersecurity. Even large organizations, including the BFSI sector, government, manufacturing, etc., all started using technology, and all started exposing their businesses on the web, right? But then the understanding that there was a way by which people could compromise both their financial assets as well as their reputation was something which was not there. There was blind trust on IT technology. So one was that. Second was there's a huge business opportunity, and not only in India, but both me, my co-founder, and my objective was to build a global powerhouse, but Indian in spirit. Because both of us were outside India when we decided that we've got to come back. And like most of us, we had huge opportunities back then to go outside and work. But then something inside said that no, let's, found a global MNC
From India.
So
Fantastic.
that was the.
So it's like
And today we are proud to be called an Indian MNC.
Fantastic. Yeah. Lovely. So you have offices outside India as well?
That's right. Yes.
So which all locations you have your office?
So we've got, apart from India, in India, we've got 4 locations. We have in UAE, which is Abu Dhabi, and we have an office in Sharjah. We have an office in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. We have an office in US. We work with a partner in Latin America and
Okay.
a partner in Australia. And we've got one strong presence in Malaysia, again through a local partner.
So these local partners are reseller partners for you.
So they are strategic partners.
Strategic
They're not
partners.
only resellers, but they are strategic partners.
Okay.
Yes.
So they also deal in cybersecurity
Um,
or cybersecurity products.
yes, both services and products. But then they are like, when I say strategic, they are exclusive partners for us.
Got it.
So they do it only for SecurEyes.
Got it. Perfect. Perfect. What were some of the toughest early challenges when you were building SecurEyes? Because you know how to solve the problem, you know how to prevent it, but I'm sure you might have faced your own series of speed bumps during the way. So, what were some early challenges you remember?
Yes. So like I said, you know, as in for students, in security was not like a formal career. It was mostly curiosity which led people into careers in security. Similarly, from a business and corporate perspective, like I said, lack of awareness was there. You know,
Correct.
that's this is something which impacts the business.
Right.
So making customers aware was one, I would say, a challenging task. Second is there were very few regulations which mandated security.
Correct.
So security runs based on two, I would say, two drivers. One is compliance, the other is risk. So risk perception back in those days was quite less. So people were like, if it doesn't happen to me, it's not there in
Right,
terms of
right,
the
right,
cyber
right.
attack.
Yeah, yeah.
And compliance was hardly there. So then our task was to convince customers that this is important and you need to work on it. Right. So that was the second thing was security was not a form, or information security was not a formal subject taught in any of the institutions.
Absolutely.
So getting a workforce which was ready to deliver projects, and these are typically, I would say, high knowledge, skill based deliveries.
Correct.
No, so as like yours is a knowledge based industry, but I would position this as a little high intensity knowledge, because you need to think how can somebody break, and then how do you protect.
Correct.
It's not only about protection. So then getting a skilled workforce was a challenge. So we built our own programs, internal training programs, internal mentoring programs, internal frameworks, which people had to follow to deliver.
Okay.
So that was another challenge which we were able to navigate. The third was, for us, since our objective was global, initially we were bootstrapped. We are today also bootstrapped, so I can proudly say that it has its own banes and pros and cons, but then that's
Lovely.
different.
Yeah.
So initially, for the first couple of years, yes, the getting the business to roll was obviously a challenge, because
Of course.
because it was not like there was hot demand like it is today. So then that took time, but we were resilient enough. We had decided that it's only this, nothing else.
Right.
So then so these are some of the challenges.
Yeah. And from where did you get your initial set of customers? Or you knew, or you went ahead and just started pitching to them, or you did a cold reach out to customers?
So all formats. I
All
think
formats.
reference was there.
Mm.
We used to walk into customers, whether it's cold calling or reaching out through email, or generally using references, saying that, okay, can you connect us to so and so. There was very few organizations had a dedicated information security role. Very few.
Yeah.
Mostly it was the CTO, CIO, the IT team
Correct.
which would handle.
CISOs were not existing
Were
that
not
time,
there.
right? Yeah.
Mostly not there. So we would reach out to the IT folks. We would do cold calls. We would do, so first 2 years was that, which was very, very interesting. Plus, since I was in the industry before that also for the past 5 years, I had a network of professionals who were quite supportive, and they helped us get those initial contracts.
Yeah.
But if I look at it, our first two contracts, one was through cold calling, the other one was through reference.
Okay. And okay. Are those customers still with you?
They are still, yes.
Still, huh?
Yes,
Fantastic.
absolutely. And going with quite strong.
That's right. Looking back, I mean, was there some breakthrough moment for you that you thought, okay, uh, we are on to something really big?
So yes, I would say there were multiple breakthrough moments. First was getting our first customer, large customer, very prestigious Government of India customer, where we were able to convince that this is important. While I would say Government of India was early adopter in setting up security practices,
Right.
and getting in there was one of the first, I would say.
Yeah, I don't think it was might have been very straight for you,
Yes.
right? Convincing at multiple levels and
Yes.
demonstrating the product and
Yes. Getting into the panel of cybersecurity, or back then information security providers in India,
Hmm.
which is through empanelment with the Ministry of IT. There's an organization called CERT, Computer
Okay.
Emergency
Mhm.
Response
Yeah, yeah,
Team,
yeah.
and we got empaneled there early back in 2006, and that was again one of our first achievements. Uh, Getting a large banking customer in India
Hmm.
was again a moment which really gave us that confidence. Within the next 2 years, we cracked into Middle East market. We started working for some large customers there. So yes, very recently we were awarded the Central Banking Award for one of our risk management and regulatory and supervision technology product.
Okay.
This was on a global forum, and we represented India along with Dr. Shatikanta Das, who is our who is the
RBI governor.
erstwhile RBI governor. So both of us were there on the same platform.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And we won the Technology Services Award for our product, RegTrack. And Honorable Governor won the Governor of the Year Award. This is the Central Banking Forum. It's a forum of
Okay.
131 central banks
Okay.
globally. So, yes.
Nice, nice. So I think before I go to something like this is prompting me to ask you another question, that what are the kind of threats you have seen when it comes to banking and you are able to stop them? Or you see currently also, I'm sure your tool must be auditing all the types of threats, vectors which are coming in.
Right. So, two aspects to this. Um, so, one of the things that we do, popularly called as ethical hacking.
Right.
So, what we do is we pose as the
Hackers.
adversaries or hackers, and then we try to get into the network system application based on the scope that we are engaging with the customer, and try to break in through what we call as vulnerabilities, loopholes. Once we get in, then we try to again branch out and see how much more access we can give. The objective is to showcase that through these vulnerabilities,
You can
if we can get in, anybody else can get in. And we don't stop at that. We then go ahead and recommend on how do you close that.
Correct.
We don't close that, obviously. We tell them how to close it, they close it, and then we again check whether it is closed securely.
Nice.
So that is one part that we do for organizations. Now, in that, the landscape of threats is huge, because you see, if you look, when usually people look at security as a technical problem, cyber security, it is, I would say, 1/3 a technology problem. The other 1/3 is the process problem. The last 1/3 is a people's problem.
Okay, what is the process problem here?
So you see, an organization, um, why does it need security? Because it wants to protect something. What does it want to protect? Something which is of value. Something which is of value, we can term it as an asset.
Right.
Now, assets are not only technology assets. Business itself, the business process itself is an asset.
Correct.
The data which the business deals with, which is business data,
that
is
also
an asset.
Yeah.
Technology helps us manage all of this, right? Technology can be a way to hack into to get the data. But if I bypass entire technology and get the data through a process fraud,
Oh, got it.
then process becomes a loophole in the entire ecosystem.
So in your process workflow, if there is a problem and you get in through that workflow and you get access to the data,
Absolutely.
you have not even hacked it. You
Not
just
even
got it.
So that's from our perspective. When we test and provide assurance, that what are the ways by which we can get in. So
Correct.
technology, process, people, lack of awareness,
Of course.
send them a message, send them an email, they click, and
Yeah.
the organization.
I think there's a huge awareness required on the people's front, especially
Yes.
in larger enterprises.
Yes.
And I think there is another problem also, right? I mean, in all these, as the more compute increases, the servers increase, the assets keep on increasing. Configuration also becomes a very important part,
Yes.
right? So there could be a lot of problems stemming from wrong configuration also, right?
Absolutely.
Mm.
So it's not about the tool or the technology that we use. Are we using it securely, fit for
Correct.
purpose?
Correct.
Because having a firewall is not enough. The firewall itself has to be secured and it should be configured appropriately.
Correct. So, give me an example of a vector which you saw in banking, which.
See, one of the vectors which we found in 2005-6, in fact, before that also I done testing. So back in early 2000s, which exists even today, is log into the bank using one account, okay? Transfer funds from some other account into this.
Transfer funds from some other account into
this account, or you log into an account. So I log into a bank account using my credentials. With that login context, I can transfer funds between any other two accounts.
Oh, how is it possible? But it is.
Log into the app with your credentials as a normal user.
Yeah.
Escalate your privilege to the admin. Get the entire CMS access. Entire CMS. And this we've been able to successfully do in financial applications.
Wow.
And these were the things which really we were able to showcase to our early customers, saying that this is the problem you're sitting in.
Yeah.
For example, I remember one of the large banks in India. They're very apprehensive. Very security budget, so much money, this that. We said, okay, don't give us any money. Give us your app. Give us a authorization. We'll show it. We went in. The app. We completely broke the app. Which means these examples. Correct. Transfer funds from any account to any account.
Oh my God.
Become the admin. Create users at will. Not only do like within the country but international transaction. Oh my God. Get the cryptography or the secret key from the internal configuration. Through that app, access the database of other applications. So all of this we were able to do.
And I think once you do it and you show it to them,
yes,
you won't have a choice.
Yes.
I think it's a very interesting GTM also, I would say. Go to market, right?
Yes, it is.
It is a very interesting GTM, right? Because you're showing the problem to them before even charging them.
Yes.
And then once they see the problem, I don't think they have any other answer other than saying, fix it.
So early days, we did one thing. I think we were clear that to do any such GTM, we took authorization because legally nobody is allowed to touch anybody else's digital
unless they approve that, okay,
approve.
go ahead and do it and conduct a test on it. You can't do it.
Yes.
So you have advised global clients, right? And you have set up governance frameworks, led forensic projects also. Is there a story you can share?
Yes.
Where the stakes were very high.
Yes, multiple stories actually. Because you see, like in the physical world, the defense forces run missions. So we also sometimes we run our regular work, but then we also get into missions, which is about if there's an incident, we get into incident handling. Part of incident handling is forensics. So incident handling is also a complete end-to-end life cycle where we start from identifying what has happened. To once identification is done, we contain it, so that the damage is limited. Then we eradicate the root cause. We recover. We tell the organization what to do, what not to do, and then actually detail a complete root cause analysis. Okay. So one such experience I would like to share, and I was involved in it directly, is that large organizations, one of the systems was behaving a little untoward, I mean abnormal, and then they asked us to check that what's happening. because at weird times it suddenly the traffic goes up and we went in there, we started doing our investigation, and we found that the adversaries were sitting in the system for a good 9 months, and using that system they were exfiltrating data from other systems. um, we quickly got into the forensic mode, and first is we of course didn't want to tip off the attackers, so we had a low profile. We knew, we kind of did a pattern analysis on when the traffic goes high, and low, etc.
Okay.
We created a image of the disk, right, while we started monitoring the system completely, that what is it doing. Overnight, we sat, we identified what was the issue, what was the technology, or that what we call as a the actual tool which was getting used for exfiltration, and it's popularly called the rootkit.
Right.
The rootkit was multiple types, and we found that out, took authorization from the organization, immediately stopped the further exfiltration,
Oh my God.
identified which systems initially were compromised, got into those systems, identified what all infections were there, cleaned that entire thing up, gave an indication of what were the losses, possible losses of data that would have happened through the logs. Now, interesting thing was, and it happens even today, is that many organizations do not have appropriate logs. So for us, a post facto investigation becomes challenging if we do not have appropriate logs. So then we did that. We even tracked back that from which source the attacks were happening.
Okay.
Now, finally we were able to contain it. But then whatever damage was done, we could control the damage. So that is one thing I would like to. Of course, I'm unable to share specific
No, of course,
details.
but this is very interesting
Yes.
that somehow there was a rootkit
Yes.
9 months and the kind of data which might have gone. This is crazy and this is serious also, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Based on the assets which were leaked.
Yes. A very recent example of how one of the payment gateways was again cracked, and attackers were able to transfer funds, a lot of funds. And then we got into investigation, identified what had happened, stopped all that, set up controls, again, technology controls, process controls to ensure that it doesn't happen again.
I mean, you have done a lot of certifications like the CISSP, CISA, CEH, and even being among the first 500 globally certified GIAC incident handlers. What did that level of training add to your perspective that real world projects alone might not?
Interesting. Mostly I'm asked the reverse question. But yes, I am a believer, and I've also matured over a period of time, that formal education has its place, structured learning has its place, and it is required. For us to acquire knowledge, there has to be some form of structured learning.
Correct.
Whether it is through certification, through courses, or through any other structured way of learning. Now, for example, if you ask me, the breadth of knowledge that today I have, again, like any other field, cybersecurity is vast.
Right.
But the breadth has been acquired through structured learning, through these certifications. And then the competency and skill, the specific skills, and the related competencies is through experience.
Right, because you get a real world challenge and you use that structured learning to fix that.
Correct. And then for us, especially in cybersecurity, what happens is a lot of things evolve very fast. Like technology is evolving fast, the attack patterns, the new age attacks, the kind of variations that happen is quite fast. So we need to adapt also. So if we know something, and we may not necessarily be faced with that issue.
Yeah, I think you're talking about evolving threats, right? That brings me to the question of AI. That where do you see the role of AI in cybersecurity on both the sides? So where do you see its Is it more of a weapon for the attackers or it's more of a weapon for the defenders?
It's actually both. And that's, I think today, that's the interesting bit about AI. And that's what keeps us excited as cybersecurity professionals, because we see both sides.
Right.
Right? While we are on the defense side, but we need to know on what is happening on the offensive side.
Hmm.
So we've seen both beautifully crafted attacks being launched by attackers, which you wouldn't have seen or imagined a couple of years ago.
Wow.
Because the kind of variation, kind of mutation that can happen using AI and machine learning is beautiful. And I term it purposefully beautiful because it has an art of its own.
Right.
Similarly, from a defense perspective, the especially the threat detection and response is evolving, and a lot of organizations have included AI in terms of detection and response.
Hmm.
So again, like from the
Both ways, right?
beginning, it's a cat and mouse game, and
It's constant learning is involved, right? Because you have to always figure out that, okay, GPT has come up with model 5 now. What are the new threats which have come with it?
right.
Because every model can bring in more threats, right?
Yes.
It has become more, the model can reason more, model can,
Yes.
and it's infinite. I mean, you can make the model generate a threat vector based on prompting,
Yes.
and prompting is limited by a function of your mind.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, you're right. I think there is a, it's a, the constant assurance, right, which you said, that's is very important for any enterprise. They have to constantly evaluate. I think every day they have to evaluate what am I getting, because if somebody is using AI as a weapon for attacking, they may figure out something absolutely brand new, maybe with a model from China, a new model, a small model, SLM, and generate a vector which is unseen.
Yes. So you see these days, because of the AI and because of the speed in which things happen using AI and the access to AI, democratization
Yes,
of AI,
yes.
the ability for adversaries to launch attacks using AI is much more easier.
Yeah, much more easier.
Um, that is one aspect. The second is, see, for us, when we are working with our clients, our objective is to give them assurance.
Correct.
Of that, we are helping them manage their risks so that they are secure from a cyber perspective. Right? To give that assurance, we ensure that our team has a clear understanding of all the TTPs that we call, right, which is the techniques and the tools and the procedures used by adversaries.
Correct.
And we do the same test posing as adversaries.
Right. I like that part
And
also,
then
which you guys do, because that's very important. It's, you know, the TTPs, and so that's the only reason you can generate the same thing.
correct. So that's so it's like I say, that's what keeps us excited and engaged
On the feed.
on.
What do you also think as the risks of over relying on AI in security? If you use it as a defender and maybe it points out false positive, or it generates more false positives than what you think of.
Yes, see, finally, AI is a beautiful tool, or I may call it an aspect of technology, right?
Right.
So it, while in many of the use cases AI has the potential to replace humans, and it is already doing so, but then there are obvious drawbacks to that on over relying on AI, because AI comes with its own, like you said, biases, which may
Right.
be either positive or negative. It comes with its own training.
Correct.
So which again may lead to bias or may lead to limitation of its contextualization.
Yeah.
These are all based on training, right?
Correct.
The third is about AI. Over reliance on AI also increases what I would and generally the industry terms as an IQ debt, because over reliance would mean humans will slowly reduce using their own intelligence, right?
Right.
Because there's over reliance.
Correct.
You know, there's somebody there to do your job, but then the guardrails have to be put both from a technology and our own human intelligence perspective, which means we need to draw that line. Where is that humans have to provide that oversight, that validation,
Right.
and then give the assurance that yes, whatever AI is producing or helping us with
Correct.
is good enough or is secure, is not, breaching some of the boundaries. So, coming back to the core thing is that, humans are needed. For example, things like ethics. Uh, Today, and you see, ethics is a very, very broad subject. It is very contextual. It has a lot of, I would say, nuances of human understanding in there, right? Which makes AI, which makes humans very, very important aspect of this whole AI ecosystem. Apart from that, ensuring that AI is working within the guardrails,
Correct.
right, is humans' job. And validating that AI as a tool is helping us in the right ways is a human's job.
Yeah, whether it has delivered what it was expected
Yes,
to do.
absolutely.
How do you, I think you answered it in parts, but how do you keep yourself and your team future ready?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. See, one thing which I believe is we are never there, whether it's knowledge wise, skill wise, or knowing it all wise. No, we can never be there. So, hence, learning and being current and future ready is a moving target. That's what I believe, and that's the ethos that our team also believes in. So we've got a lot of internal learning that happens both on job, off the job, structured learning programs, certifications, mentoring session, and that's something which is close to my heart, to break down complex things into simple terms and then help the team understand it, and then they are on the roll. So, with continuous learning, emphasis on continuous learning is something that is the ethos of SecurEyes, and that's how we do it. And future ready is also about being current ready and looking to the future.
Yeah.
So we do both of that in terms of being up in the game and really keeping up with the trends in our domain of law.
What is fun leadership lesson you wish you had known when you were just starting out?
Yes. uh, so there's this thing which I learned midway through this journey was that don't make perfect the enemy of the best, of the good. Sorry, don't make perfect the enemy of the good. So as an entrepreneur, as a person who wants things to be done like the best, uh, is where I think I learned through the journey that good is also okay.
Yeah.
It's not that everything has to be perfect.
Correct.
Something which is good and works.
I think you are never perfect, right?
Yeah.
It's always there. You're
Yeah.
never perfect.
Yes.
There's always scope for improvement in whichever state you are in.
Yeah, because perfectionism is very subjective. What I think is perfect, others may think is good,
Correct.
and vice versa. So what I think is good may be a perfect for somebody else. As long as it is useful, it keeps the ball rolling. It gives the necessary assurance to the relevant stakeholders.
Right.
Good is good enough, and this is something that I learned through the journey. Something
Okay.
which I follow now.
Very nice. I have one interesting question for young entrepreneurs thinking of entering cybersecurity. What is your biggest piece of advice?
See, cybersecurity is about, I would say, trust. Yeah. Doing business in cybersecurity. Uh, See, the core principles and goals of cybersecurity is confidentiality, integrity, availability. These are the core objectives. Same stands for our business also. And all of these three, if you see, are the core for trust, building trust. So I think for anybody who is already in information security and starting off a company or planning to start a company, it trust is, I think, the baseline to engage with any stakeholders, including customers.
Right.
No, people will hand over their cybersecurity or offload their cybersecurity mandates to you only if they trust that you will be able to give them that assurance and give them that confidence. So it's a journey. It is not a overnight win that can help one become, a successful cybersecurity entrepreneur. There is a journey. You need to go through the journey. You need to build that trust, showcase that, like we discussed earlier.
Right.
Showcasing the work should talk more than the words. And in cybersecurity, it's about building something, whether it's a service or a product, having that conviction that what is the value it brings for the customer?
Correct.
What is the assurance? What is the security it gives to the customer?
Right.
And that is what will help build the trust.
Correct.
The other thing about business success, revenue, etc., is a byproduct of this. And if one is resilient enough to go through this journey, then success is more, I mean, I would say, is largely guaranteed.
No, I think that's a very useful take for all the young entrepreneurs who are trying to start now the journey. What excites you most about the next chapter for you and for SecurEyes?
Yes, I think, I mean, most of the cybersecurity guys, if you see, they are mostly excited
Because there is always
something or the other continuously happening. So I think we are at a very beautiful juncture, as SecurEyes. We've built the company in a quite, I think, a very focused and very purposeful manner. And now our next journey, which, and I say that the best is always ahead of us. And for SecurEyes is also the best is ahead of us. We are excited about the new age technologies, AI, the security aspects of AI, with quantum coming in. That's an area
that
which
could be
is
very, very interesting because
absolutely,
the speed of security will change.
absolutely, and the landscape changing from traditional on-prem to cloud,
Yeah.
which is, of course, it's been a while, but even now that transformation is happening. Uh, the kind of learning that individuals can have now, with the huge knowledge base that Gen AI provides them, um, help would help us upskilling people at, I would say only a small percentage of the time we used to take earlier.
Yeah.
The kind of tools that are available today,
Correct.
the self learning tools and the self-paced courses, and we've also built some of them internally.
Nice.
So that is keeping us excited. Our transition from providing traditional cybersecurity services and products to AI-enabled services and products is something which is already underway, and that is really exciting for us. The various aspects or the new dimensions of cybersecurity, whether it is aeronautical cybersecurity, whether maritime cybersecurity,
Wow.
telecom cybersecurity, the ICT and SCADA, which is the industrial control systems, ICS, sorry, ICS and SCADA system.
Right.
So all of these are very, very new age.
Each one of them is a separate, different
is a
kind of
separate
challenge. Yeah.
domain, yes. And some of them we are already starting. We are already working on. We are doing some great work in those areas and delivering projects. Others are, like you said, that's keeping us excited for the future.
Nice. No, definitely. I think questions are pretty much done. I'll move to the final round of rapid fire.
Sure.
It's just like light and fun. So
Absolutely.
it's mostly some questions in which you can give a one-line answer, one-word answer, or rapid fire based. So, what is the first thing you do when you wake up? Check emails or meditate?
Do neither actually.
Okay.
I check whether my phone is okay in terms of is it working properly and not somebody else doesn't have access to it. No, but I think just quick catch up on emails is something that I do in the morning.
When you wake up.
Yeah.
Oh, there were some other options also: coffee, tea, or code. So I think you are more towards checking emails and then quickly get to code.
Caffeine helps waking us up. So yeah.
Okay. So if you weren't in cybersecurity,
Hmm.
what do you think you'd be doing today?
See, I think I would be maybe a pet trainer.
Pet trainer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe in the physical defense services.
Hmm.
Pet trainer, because you see, in cybersecurity, we deal with a lot of interesting chaos, where we have to deal with so many variables and try to bring things under control, right? And that's how with controls is where we manage risks. If you see, training a pet is something like that.
Okay.
How can you train?
Lot of
A lot of
variables.
chaos, right?
Yeah. Lot of
And then
chaos.
you try to
Hmm.
get them into control
Right.
by managing them as as
Right. So, but again, I would say you are sticking to the same principles.
yes, the principles are the same.
Same. The one app you can't live without.
The password manager, my
Password
password manager,
manager.
because it helps in managing all the credentials. So I
Nice.
need to ensure that.
Have you downloaded that password manager or built one yourself?
It has been customized, of course.
Okay. What is scarier, a zero-day exploit or losing your phone?
So it depends on the context. You see, if I'm on a holiday, then definitely losing a phone is a bigger issue. But when I'm not on holiday, a 0 day definitely, because it impacts our ability to provide assurance to our customers. So we need to quickly come up to speed, look at which customer is impacted by that 0 day, and give them necessary information, and where needed, help them protect themselves.
Okay. A book or a podcast that really influenced your leadership style?
The Art of War by Sun Tzu.
Okay.
That book was.
I've heard about this book, yes.
Yes, so
Yeah,
it has very beautiful principles of how a battle needs to be conducted,
Okay.
and it is equally applicable to the cybersecurity field.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Your
So you would have heard of this this term saying choose your battles wisely.
yeah.
It's
That's from that
from
book.
that.
is it? Okay. Your go-to productivity hack.
The motivation always has to be internal.
Mhm.
I think external motivation is very short lasting.
Mhm.
So from a productivity perspective, I think staying motivated and excited also.
Okay. Uh, how do you celebrate a big client win at ClearCast?
Yeah, so we do it periodically. Unless there's a client which is more than 10% of our revenue, then we would celebrate for that client. But periodically, every month, we have a structured what we call as the all hands meet and the town hall. So that is where we announce, celebrate, recognize people, reward people, and then as needed, we go for chilling out. Whatever. So
All right. Uh, how do you classify AI as a superhero or a villain?
So it's like that Spider-Man, right? The black
Oh,
Spider-Man
the
and
Venom and Spider-Man.
yes. So both.
Both. Okay. One city you would love to live in for a year.
Um, Maybe. So there's a beautiful island called the Neil Island, in Andamans.
Andamans, yeah, I've been there, yeah.
That's a place I would love to
Be there.
be there.
Okay. What is your proudest career moment so far?
Winning the Central Banking Award
Okay.
on a global stage and representing the country. And that
Fantastic. That's I think. All right, and I come to the last question. What is next on your personal bucket list?
I think spending a few days, maybe if possible a month, without any gadgets and taking a trek in the Himalayas.
Okay.
That's
So you are a fan of trekking?
Yes, I mean I do trekking, cycling.
Okay.
Yes, but I do not get many opportunities to pursue it.
Okay.
But yes, bucket list is.
Then that would be your first thing when you get up in the morning, right? Exercising.
Yeah, I try to keep that as a regime.
Okay. Nice. Very nice. With this, we have actually come to the end of the podcast. I think it was a fantastic conversation with Karmendra. I think I also personally got to learn a lot of things when it comes to a structured framework of thinking and application when it comes to cybersecurity in enterprises. Some very interesting terms which Karmendra has used. I think all you cybersecurity professionals must take a note and listen to this podcast. And probably, I'm sure you'll benefit a lot more.